On the plus side, they are the best Left Behind movies, although absolutely terrible as a trilogy. At least the Cage and Sorbo ones required very little commitment. This is a trilogy only in the sense that there's 3 of them, because they have 0 conclusion at the end. If anything, Left Behind 3 probably pissed me off the most out of all of them, so enjoy. I didn't. I've seen Kirk Cameron save Christmas by showing Santa Claus beating a man to death, and I've also seen him kidnap children and then tell them that they're dead and in heaven, which sort of explain the origin of Jussie Smollett. So believe me when I tell you that the Kirk Cameron Rapture movie is probably his most normal one yet. Left Behind, or as it's fully called, Left Behind the Movie. Oh, as opposed to what? The book? Alright, that actually is what it means. This 2000 film is based on the series of end times novels by Jerry Jenkins and Tim LaHaye. Upon release, the film was billed as the biggest and most ambitious Christian film ever made.
It looks like the Israeli Air Force never sleeps.
Yeah, move over, Cecil B. DeMille. We've got director Vic Sarin, who I'm sure has made other things, but more importantly, it's from screenwriter Alan McElroy. Who better to write the biggest Christian film ever than the writer of Halloween 4, Spawn, and Wrong Turn? We're gonna see some quality hell special effects here. As for who made the movie, stupid Pure Flix. Sorry, I didn't even look at that logo. What did it say? This is a film that will surely answer all of the questions.
How do you describe both a beginning and an end?
I'd call it a 3-act structure. The nerve of Kirk Cameron naming archaeological findings after himself? I see this is the skyline of Jerusalem. No wonder it looks like a stack of presents. This film is truly epic. Effects so good, I'm wondering when the mega shark and giant octopus will show up. Kirk Cameron stars as ace reporter Buck Williams.
Dr. Rosenzweig, it looks like Iowa.
No, it doesn't. It looks nothing like heaven. Buck is instantly attacked. It's the only way we could stop him from kidnapping children from orphanages. But meanwhile, in Wing Commander, a surprise air raid is happening in Jerusalem. This buttercream gang adventure is escalating quickly. This was Kirk's big comeback after growing pains. And one thing is for sure.
They're jamming on monitors. It's a cruel trick.
Only one way to find out.
No!
He still got it. Hyperbolic news is always hyperbolic.
This has got to be the biggest surprise attack since Pearl Harbor.
Oh, pre-9/11 movies.
Fence.
Buck would have filmed Hiroshima from ground zero if he'd been there.
Yeah, that's our Buck.
Buck's known for his Blair Witch-style reporting under bad special effects, and also using a butt plug as a microphone. His Johnny-on-the-spot interviews are really what he's best known for.
War will continue until the end. Desolations have been decreed.
You know, you could have just stayed in Chicago. You could have run into about 100 of these guys on any street corner. Speaking of, yes, thank you. No need to location-splain to me. This here is pilot Rayford Steele, played by Brad Johnson, but later to be played by Nick Cage. Buck works for GNN, by the way, putting this in the Schumacher Batman universe. Dad's gonna miss the kid's birthday, but it's okay. They'll be raptured before he gets back, along with the weird neighbor.
Come on in, Bruce.
Bruce, how's it going, man?
What's up, birthday boy? Mwah.
Don't kiss my son. I think Dad's mainly leaving to get away from the corny soundtrack.
You still love me after all.
We're all in serious danger. We're cursed with comically large coats like in a Body Switch movie. And that Kirk movie was much worse than this. And I don't know about Buck's sources.
Don't you see? It's always about the money, isn't it? What do you know about life this way? Come on, he must have said something. Come on. Think, Buck, think!
This guy is one rabbit hole away from becoming a flat earther. I don't care what kind of paperwork he has.
Look at this. Stonego's plan for the world.
Come on, Dirk. This is an old college essay.
Yeah, the teacher graded it TLDR. Buck has more important things to do, like piece together this shitty Merlin movie. Might I add, not the best screensaver in the world. Go back to using the 3D maze. Who knew a movie about a rapture would be so unfocused?
It's been a dream ever since Cain looked sideways at Abel.
Pick a lead character! Guess this is important. Here we meet the Antichrist, Nikolai Carpathia, played by Gordon Curry. How am I supposed to follow this guy? He couldn't even make it off the boat to get to Manhattan. They desperately want Nikolai to deliver on world peace and, diamonds, maybe. Probably diamonds. I'm sure it's got something to do with diamonds.
I don't like it, Shaun.
Neither do I. Can the rapture happen to get rid of a few of these plot lines?
Well, I'd say that Mr. Burton will have to sacrifice his pension.
Who's that? Oh, great. Introduce the flight attendant as a character. Sure.
I know, I've been a little anti-socialist, like. So, how's my favorite flight attendant?
You're biased. That's your real-life wife. And she's cheating on Kirk with Rayford Steele. Why is she cheating? Because his name is Rayford Steele. That just screams 13-inch dick. Now the moment we've all been waiting for, the highly anticipated rapture.
Honey? Where are you?
Ooh, these rapture effects are great. Whoa, no one told me this was a streaking flight. This red eye's gonna see a lot more brown eye. There is good news, though.
Where are my kids?
No more kicking the back of my goddamn seat. I knew I shouldn't have had sex with that sheep. Yeah, okay, I guess this is suspenseful. But you know what would make it better? If it were a David A.R. White action movie like Revelation Road.
Adios, amigo.
Yes, take all my diamonds. Meanwhile, on the ground, this has nothing to do with the rapture. It's just a Final Destination movie in progress. Even Jerry Reed has been raptured, but Fred the dog is still with us. And worse yet, someone's unleashed 1,000 live snakes on the plane! Thank God they left us with the most dramatic cinematographer in the business. God, this is a handsome zoom. So much chaos! Oh, dang. I shouldn't have banged that sheep. Well, I know one movie that's a total lie. Oh, and the president's dead from the one scenario not covered by Tom Brokaw. Alright, fine, you look kinda like Sam Neill from The Omen 3. You can be the world president. Not exactly sure why Buck wasn't raptured, but I'm sure it's got something to do with these dance moves. Buck has the right idea. If demons show up, Ray is the one who looks the most like Bruce Campbell, so he can fend them off. It was at least nice of his family to leave a message before the rapture.
Hello, Mother. Hello, Father.
Marge, has Lisa been raptured? Yeah, guys, I'm really stretching for jokes here. This is the least bad of all the Kirk Cameron movies I've had to watch. No, my wife has gone to heaven and she's divorcing me. Could be worse. Could have happened at Medea's dinner table. He's got plenty of time to kill now, but like hell he's still gonna read 50 Shades of Grey. Oh wait, sorry, it's the Bible. Let's give this a gander. When you enter a town, you are welcome. Eat what is offered to you. Luke 10:10. I understand now. Buck's friends haven't really been raptured. They're just using this as an excuse not to take his calls.
Excuse me, I need to get to the airport.
Okay, but that was a little harsh. Fireproof isn't worth killing someone over.
And I shouldn't have videotaped Fido having sex with the sheep.
The only reason Ray's daughter wasn't raptured is because she was the worst waitress at the pasta house. Too bad some of these plots are still here.
How does this affect our food redistribution network?
Oh boy, have I been asking myself that question. Look, at some point you're gonna find a former child actor sleeping on your couch. It doesn't matter if they're drunk or if they're Kirk Cameron. Buck has a plan to go to New York because, I don't know, a big clothes sale. At least he has a pilot played by Neil Crone.
Yeah, 2 women standing in a kitchen. One gets taken, the other one's left doing the dishes.
Ah, good, the spirit of Brad Stein is still with us. Damn, now she can't have a catch with her dad in Iowa's Jerusalem. Oh wait, her dad is still here.
I have been going out of my mind driving all over looking for you. Where did you go?
But he's a bastard! Look, honey, it's good I'm here. The world needs at least one Tom Berenger. Meanwhile, in a bad angel telling me to do a terrible callback joke, God made an unfortunate mistake. He left the body, but he raptured the clothes. What's not a mistake, though, the cats have all been raptured because they are gods. And these security systems are rough. There is not a bullet strong enough to prevent Christmas from being saved, or whatever the hell is going on here.
Alan Tompkins. What did he send you?
Who is that? Anyway, this is easier than just shooting him. Now he'll never get the email. Shooter must be a Mac guy. Oh, I guess this dude's still here. You should have stopped kissing kids' heads. And maybe practice your line reading better.
I stood right here,
Line.
and I was good,
Line.
but they're gone.
Line. And I'm confused as to what the real romance of the movie is.
Lord, please, just use me.
He already has.
Now bend that ass over. Must everything here be filmed like a commercial? Thankfully, someone explains what the rapture is. Yeah, true believers sent up to heaven, then 7 years of war and famine before the second coming. But the real question is, who the hell are you two?
What the heck? How did Dirk get that?
It's the rapture. You can say hell. Carpathia really is pulling people together. Colin Fox is here because the world still needs voice work in the Legend of Zelda cartoons. I don't know what to do with myself here. There's smoking, Kirk is drinking, and worse yet, it's Keystone Light. No wonder he's not getting into heaven. And there's something about this shot that makes me think the movie would be way more interesting if it starred Dennis Reynolds. Carpathia has other great plans. He disarms all nuclear weapons. Let's hear him out. He's the closest we have to a Billy Zabka. He'll kick the enemies in the face. Anyway, Hattie wants more of that Rayford Steele action. Maybe because his brother Remington was raptured. Too bad he dumps her and dooms her to 7 years of Kirk Cameron. No one can catch a break from drama.
Is that why you never had time for us?
Honey, half the population is gone. Time and place. Think of what's coming next.
It's gonna get a lot worse.
What could be worse than this?
Left Behind 2 and 3. Wait, the UN is using Carpathia to get diamonds to control food?
That means they've been using Carpathia like a puppet.
You mean it's all about money?
No, diamonds. It's always diamonds. According to the background buildings, people are still going to work, and even the homeless look better. I don't know what's so wrong here. That's because his check engine light was raptured. Thank God you're still here, dramatic zoom. Too bad the world only has one reporter working on this, and people keep trying to kill him, when all he really needed to do was check a VHS tape out from the library.
And we who are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air.
Yeah, but that guy thinks the Kids' Choice Awards are sending subliminal messages from the Illuminati. What I'm gathering here is that the Antichrist will control 10 kingdoms, which will control the world and 10 tracts of land. And I mean huge tracts of land! This is the most normal and least crazy-eyed I've ever seen Kirk. Could be the booze, or it could be this. His sister was raptured, and he doesn't have to deal with her cringy shit anymore. Plus, the burden of the crazy eyes have been put on this guy.
You can feel him. You can feel God tugging at your heart. Don't ignore him, Buck.
Acting. Oh, and Hattie, the flight attendant, now works at the UN for Carpathia. Sure. Carpathia is the new secretary of all Antichrist treasury and the department of trying not to look so evil. We've got a controversial new Israeli temple next to a mosque, and businessy business. It's the cross between Omega Code and Atlas Shrugged, and no one needed. This dramatic monologue where he talks to God for the first time isn't a sign that he's a believer now. The bad soundtrack is... Aha, saved.
Now, Buck, if you'll follow me, you can have front row seat to my evil plan.
We are about to turn this planet into a paradise. Unimaginable.
Great. The moment James Bond ascends to heaven, every Tom, Dick, and Harry tries their hand at world domination. And how the hell is James Bond in heaven? It's not talking to God that made him figure out Carpathia is the Antichrist. It's the sinister editing. Look at him, clearly evil.
Nikolai, you know, that's preposterous.
Do not lie to me.
Seems legit.
Now everyone, start sucking.
Some of these people seem stupid.
Alterness?
Yes, sir. That's me.
Of Newark, New Jersey.
Why, yes, sir.
Give me your sidearm.
Well, if you're talking to the world's dumbest man, you might as well have him deliver his lines like that. Yeah, what's the worst that could happen? Excellent team building. Now they can trust him. He studied antichristing by watching the baseball bat scene from The Untouchables. Hell, he brainwashes all of them to think that the dude shot himself. Only Kirk Cameron is the only one not affected by the brainwashing. Okay. And who is this speech for if their memories are wiped? Whew! Not even Blondie warned us about this crazy rapture.
The next 7 years are going to be the worst that mankind has ever seen.
Yet everyone seems fine. The rapture looks like it's the best thing to happen to this world. Sorry, but you're gonna have to wait around for the sequels for the interesting things like the Tribulation. And the trilogy was complete with the 2002 film Tribulation Force and 2005's World at War. Because with this movie's $4 million budget and $4.2 million box office, that's technically a profit. Sure, it got bad reviews, but not if you look at the box cover, the best in the apocalyptic genre. Mad Max? Mad Max who? Although one person didn't like it, author LaHaye, who was so dissatisfied with the quality of the film, a lawsuit was settled allowing him to remake it, which Cloud 10 did themselves when they got the rights back. Oops. On the bright side, it's Kirk Cameron's most normal religious movie, and it's basically Thief in the Night with a Sci-Fi Channel filter. Goody. Does this mean I have to watch the other movies in the series? Are you kidding? It always means I have to watch the other movies in the series, especially after Lionsgate raptured my Diary of a Mad Black Woman review.
Oh, God!
Well, I have seen many Left Behind films, and after 23 years of these, the best one is still the Kirk Cameron one. Now, granted, it's been a while since I watched the first, so let me see if I can remember anything. Kirk good and Antichrist bad. Very, very bad. And then they boarded a plane flown by Nick Cage to land them to safety in order to solve a teen love triangle and teach the kids about the rapture via flash drive, where Kevin Sorbo showed the world that all souls matter. I may be going in order of how I saw these movies. This is the first time I've seen the Kirk sequel, Left Behind 2, Tribulation Force. While the first did go to some theaters, many of us private school folks mainly saw it in the classroom. The second film, however, skipped theaters and went right to video, as in directly to the classrooms and churches. TV director Bill Corcoran took over as director, and the movie was released in 2002, the same year he released Atomic Twister. Those kinds of twisters are another sign of the apocalypse. And while the series writers are credited, there was some uncredited rewriting from both Cameron and Ray Comfort to apparently make it more evangelical. It needed to be more. I take it this one will be more uplifting. It's already starting in heaven, where we're all on cloud 10 apparently. However, some things are still getting raptured, like words. Awkward placement of the word presents there. People are very worried about the missing. They took whole minutes printing out a few flyers. I'm surprised they didn't use Comic Sans. And there's very little effects shops left. I think this is the same effect I used for Lloyd's What If It Exploded. The movie picks up only a week after the Rapture, and the only newsman we have left is Kirk Cameron as Cameron Buck Williams. They could only get into one of the old Weekend Update sets, so at least the news will be hilarious. And if your TV doesn't get the Kirk channel, don't worry, we'll put it on the TV in post. Secretary General Nikolai Carpathia is very interested in what Kirk has to say.
Look at this. Honest. People trust him.
That's just because Hannity was raptured. I'm as surprised as you are. The Rapture seems kind of boring. Well, that's over with, so what do we watch now? I think there's some Highway to Heaven reruns on MeTV. The sirens are going off in the city like pandemonium is happening, but people are driving fairly normally, and in some parts, looks like a normal day to me. And if you think this movie's Chicago looks a little like Jason Takes Manhattan's New York, you're close. Both filmed in Canada, and Nikolai Carpathia was also in Jason Takes Manhattan. Tragedy is striking all over the place.
Man, you didn't have to kill him!
Say that after they set fire to your 1 Corinthians leather. Enough of that action scene break, back to the news. Even Network didn't have this many scenes of people watching the news. Here he meets Steve Plank, who of course is a character here because he has a name like that, with names like Rayford Steele, Nikolai Carpathia, Bruce Barnes, and Kirk Cameron Buck Flowers. You know who's gonna have speaking lines in this, especially if you're on the news.
The single biggest piece of news in history.
Oh my god, it took the Rapture to finally bring back the Arch Deluxe! Tired of fluff pieces, he switches over to C-SPAN, and it works out that all the characters just happen to all be watching the same programs. They are looking for a leader who will unite us. You will do just fine, Craig Kilborn. He's a man of passion and ideas.
We will call on every nation to disarm, to put aside all their racial, and the deadliest of all, their religious differences.
And he has immediately failed. Not everyone is happy though. Rayford Steele currently sits in church and is still getting flashbacks of the most traumatic moment in his life, when passengers on board his plane fought over who is stuck sitting next to the crying baby. This is why we have assigned seats. Only the ghost of his wife can help him.
Ray.
Bet this won't be corny. Oh hey, a locket. I can use this to buy my way into heaven, right? Honey, honey, don't go! I can't take the news anymore! Or my moody daughter! You know, Dad, the Rapture isn't gonna put the garbage in the cans, right? I guess this is the tribulation force of the title. I have faith in their mission. They already have Theo from Die Hard to help crack the safe, and the Patreon poll proves that while the race may be close, they can defeat demons. The plan is to spread God's word to the non-believers, which should be easy enough. If I saw the Rapture, I'd be like, oh well, okay, guess this stuff is real. Plus he has pictures.
You seen those reports about the 2 men who were burned to death at the Wailing Wall?
Yeah.
You see these guys?
Who are they?
the witnesses.
The apostles Statler and Waldorf walk among us, and we must find them. Who wouldn't want to join?
Bruce, we're talking about the Antichrist here. He's gonna slaughter millions of innocent people. I won't be a part of that. I'm sorry.
Look, we want you to be a pilot for the Antichrist. What else do you have going on? Switching over to C-SPAN 2? It's okay. They still have Kirk to selflessly look out for the others.
I am not gonna let anything happen to me.
Said Christ. Buck is handling things better than Rayford. He doesn't seem to give a shit about his flashbacks. Oh right, I did see Nikolai put everyone under a spell so he could shoot a man, and only I saw him do this. Plus, it seems like a great story.
Besides, I'm a journalist. What journalist in the world would not give his right arm for a meeting with Nikolai Carpathia?
Clark Kent, who is always suspiciously gone during stories like this. Might as well be a comic book. He has a hard-ass boss at a network he doesn't even work at, where the ladies still know where to find him.
And you are?
I'm Buck's assistant. But you could call me Miss Gold if you like.
Her name is Ivy Gold. A name like that is clearance enough for her to be here. And they're at GNN, which I'm sure we've established in part 1 that means it's Gotham News Network, yet that's clearly Nolan's Gotham. This series is all over the place. Kirk is gonna be in so much trouble. He's bringing an attractive girl back to his apartment when his wife, Chelsea Noble, is in the movie. He's distracted though. Nikolai's men find out where he lives and left him a message.
I don't know how they found me.
He's the Antichrist! Plus, I know for a fact that Buck Williams isn't the only journalist who can make this story interesting. Look, Jason Jones from The Daily Show is sitting amongst the crowd. What the hell? How did this happen?
So what's gonna happen?
The world will experience judgments, terrible judgments.
Ugh, back to you, John. Let Jason up there to speak. It'd be hilarious. Those raising their hand at Bruce's questions don't seem very enthused. Things are going way better in Colorado, where Stu Redman simply stands at the podium and says, "Let's make this quick and grab a beer." When we come back, we'll get Jordan Klepper in here to record some of these responses.
You are
watching
me.
TV.
Memorable. Entertainment. Television. It's me. Me TV.
Now that we're back, I'm starting to notice what will win snob polls. Any movie where there's fire barrels and gangs in them. This is where we find out that the reason Kirk wasn't raptured is that he's a horny old bastard.
You know, the one that really got me was Jesus said whoever looks at a woman has already committed adultery with her in his heart.
Okay, then no one would ever be raptured. It isn't his sermon that brings people front and center to repent. It's the montage music that plays during all faith-based movie repenting scenes.
Wisdom isn't meaning chasing after.
For the last time, play Rapture by Blondie. Chris is still not interested in being converted, but he is interested in turning this movie into The Deer Hunter. Why not? What does he have left to lose? Ray's here to talk about his loss too.
It hurts, man. I know that. It hurts more than anything I've ever felt. I miss him terribly.
Then why do you sound like you want to kick their ass? They need Chris on their side. Actor David McNiven was literally in the newsroom. Also, he has resting family tragedy face. Rayford's acting his ass off trying to keep Chris from pulling the trigger. Meanwhile, I'm over here like, oh right, I forgot the Chris character was in the first movie. But the other plan is to broadcast Nikolai's evil on live television, and in better news...
Chris just got saved. It was amazing. Amazing.
Did you both bang? Don't worry, even Buck is adamant about finding a love interest here.
Is that your family?
So, is that a photo album? Did you, get that at K's Merchandise or something?
Kirk doesn't know how to respond to some of these lines.
I think you're a wonderful guy, but I'm having a really hard time with this whole hanging out with the devil thing.
That sentence just broke his brain. And there's Chelsea Noble as Hattie Durham, his connection to get the job as Nikolai's pilot. And also, come get your husband so he can leave my daughter alone. Speaking of her, yeah, I'm gonna tell you what I told my dad. The garbage will not rapture into heaven. Clean up your damn yard. And no confessing relationship drama, please.
What do you think about relationships? at a time like this.
Yes, I have one true love. His name is Walker, Texas Ranger. She has a crush on Kirk, which I think he talks her out of.
I think the stakes are high. Everywhere. Maybe God wants you to make a sacrifice, Chloe. Maybe God wants you to let Buck go.
God just cock-blocked Kirk Cameron. Well, I can at least wear a nice dress to meet Buck in his room.
What? Does Buck Williams live here?
I've never seen Kirk get around this much.
What do you want? You want an autograph or something? Is that what you want?
She did bring her VHS of Like Father, Like Son. Look, you put Kirk in a movie, expect to get some Mike Seaver-like sitcom misunderstandings.
It's him.
What the fuck? I gotta have something to do with Boner. Even Rayford Steele is annoyed by this tomfoolery.
Now, I'm going to go take a shower and go to bed.
Now it sounds like he's gonna kick the mattress's ass. Anyway, seems legit. He's meeting with Nikolai Carpathia on a rooftop, like I'm watching a direct-to-video remake of The Devil's Advocate. Even Nikolai wants a little Kirk.
Since that day, it feels perhaps like you've been avoiding me.
You're not returning my calls. I went to a hotel room where there was this nice lady wearing nothing but shirt.
I don't know, though. This guy seems to get people.
People have only one natural reaction to something like this. Find someone to blame.
I blame woke beer cans. That's just what I wanted to hear.
Now he is the official reporter for the Antichrist, and we'll get started right away on his article, the What Percentage Antichrist Are You quiz. At this point, he's used to missing signs everywhere, and people walking out from the shadows.
Hey, why didn't you tell me Nikolai controls GNN?
Kirk, we just assumed you thought the Antichrist controlled 24-hour news. And why do I feel like this happens often?
What are you doing here?
Chloe, I need to talk with you.
No, go away.
But I'm here to give you the good news about hot cocoa and doing the worm. Seriously, is this just a movie about people avoiding Kirk Cameron?
Buck's here and he won't leave.
What do you want me to do? I'm taking a shower. I got soap in my eyes.
Dad, didn't you see a little piece of heaven? He kidnapped kids and told them they were dead. You know, you're in for a good romance misunderstanding when you can actually hear sirens going off in the background.
Well, obviously, Chloe, there's some kind of misunderstanding. Pretty smart, huh?
Oh yeah? If you're so smart, then explain this confused look seconds later.
I really like you.
Me and who else?
What?
Kirk is having a wait, who am I here moment. Only he doesn't know if he's still Mike Seaver. See, what's happening is, she thinks Ivy Gold is his fiancée, who she saw at his hotel room, only Ivy is just simply his assistant who is crashing in his room. So they're not together, and now Chloe feels foolish because they both clearly like each other. Anyway, back to the 7 years of tribulation. And it turns out Matchmaker Dad wasn't in the shower after all.
Shower, huh? You knew he was coming.
Oh, he knew. That's why he was masturbating in the shower. I think we have a plan here, people. What if we trick the homeless into cleaning our yard with the promise of a free basket of bread from the Pasta House dumpster? Or we can clean it ourselves, lazy asses. I don't trust you to save the world. And does Nikolai have his own offices at GNN now? I like that slowly Nikolai is turning into evil media tycoon Farley Flavors from Shock Treatment. The movie is kind of repetitive. I feel like I've heard this speech a few times now.
By creating spiritual unity, a one-world religion, tolerance, harmony.
Too late, I'm already donating to Joel Osteen, and I don't know if I trust Nikolai's judgment.
The world will follow us to peace, and this man will show them the way.
Oh yeah, Kirk will show us the way when he's done rom-comming.
Okay, alright, one more here. Okay. Oh, I can have a silly one.
Wow, that sure was fun. Alright, half the world is still gone. The missing posters on the photo booth are bumming me out. Let's throw them away. We still need to play our sins safe, so here's a nice kiss on the cheek to remember me by. I'm thrown off by the fact that these two look more like love interests than she and Kirk do. And I'm already questioning the sorcery going on with Nikolai. That's a different plane than the one that was in his hangar. It's fairly easy for Rayford and Buck to do their undercover work. Look, the villains just leave briefcases laying around everywhere.
Also, folks, I'm gonna need you to turn off your screensavers. It's messing with our signals. These jackasses don't even lock the door when going over their plans.
Yeah, sure, I'll just read their emails. The security is so terrible, I'd probably just accidentally stumble across this anyway.
Captain Steele, I see you found my laptop. I take it you're impressed with my Space Cadet 3D score.
The casting is quite good. Gordon Curry is believable and charismatic as Carpathia, and is a politician with a face for television. And a CGI budget, too, that takes away his wrinkles. But in this shot of Jerusalem, where we're probably just at a bed and breakfast in Vancouver, this is where they find out the truth of Nikolai's past.
Medical records show that when Nikolai was 6 years of age, he was pierced through the chest by a farm machine.
He was raised as one of the children of the corn. I knew it! It's all here. He's gonna declare himself as the new Messiah. It says so right in the Wikipedia plot summary you saved. Now they must reach the two witnesses, as talked about earlier in my hilarious Statler and Waldorf joke. This must happen before they move forward with their one world religion.
This right here, Buck, this is where the world is going. One faith for everyone.
See, they even have their own rub-on temporary tattoos. Steve currently has one on his ass. Whatever, that's the B plot. The A plot? Clearly Ivy and Chloe apologizing and settling that whole hotel room misunderstanding. Because this is forcing me to imagine a world where Kirk Cameron played Jack Tripper. I love when she returns to the dying man, too.
Hey, sorry about that.
Sorry, had to deal with some relationship drama. Back to giving you your last rites. So Buck's only hope is Rabbi Obi-Wan Judah. I wonder if he means old Ben Judah.
Excuse me. Rabbi Ben Judah?
That's a name I haven't heard in minutes. So if he takes Rabbi Ben Judah to the two witnesses, they will convince him that Christ is real, but Buck words it like this will be helping out Nikolai because you can discredit them, which Nikolai is fully aware of.
He wants access to the Wailing Wall. He wants to discredit the witnesses.
Well, no, he will dig up their old tweets. Let's take a break to give that camera a good 20-minute charge.
Stephen King's The Stand will continue in a moment here on ABC.
Now that we're back,
let's pray.
There's no time for that. We are deep in the movie's climax. Also, say, half-eaten wafers. Now they're off to sneak around and find those witnesses. Don't let the armed guards and barbed wire fool you. It will be very easy to get past them. All you need to do is distract them with awkward movie moments.
Amazing.
What in the hell? We're just as confused as all you folks. To get to the wall, you just need proper ID and a rogue gospel singer, of course. I don't know why or how this happened, just know that it happened, so accept it. They're at the witnesses now.
You have chosen wisely. But the gospel singers cannot pass beyond the Great Seal.
Still, all of that work does not compare to Nikolai's power of cutting the news feed on the grounds of confusing the audience. How was he getting this shot from that angle? And he cut it off before the action comes in. The witnesses are the Jules and Vincent of the Rapture, if their weapon was fire breath. Go with Christ. My God, the witnesses were right, and I can still smell burning flesh. I need a drink. There's still more important plot points. Ivy bringing Chloe food, while Chloe still tends to the only patient she cares about. You need to speed this up and pass away. We have 2 new burn patients waiting in the lobby. You can tell this is a very sad moment. That's why she's laughing her ass off.
But back to Trust Us, totally Jerusalem.
Look, we dressed up our lighting guy and threw him in as an extra. Convincing, right? Ben Judah was originally supposed to announce that Nikolai is the new Messiah, but I don't think that's what's happening, considering Nikolai's, oh no, he's going off script face.
And his name is Jesus Christ.
Bulls.
Well, guess that's over. Nikolai has been defeated once and for all. Not really. Not only is there a third movie, but this isn't even the entirety of the second book. The third movie isn't even the third book. It's the last 50 pages of the second book. Random. Not gonna lie, I do like the acting in these, especially Carpathia going full Bronson Pinchot on his plane. Everything is working out. See, this is what happens when you clean up all the trash from the front yard. Not only are more people showing up, but they also finally look happy to be here. Wait until the casserole cook-off. Find out in the third film if Kirk wins with his amazing au gratin potatoes and baked over Frito crust. Despite flaws, these are still the best Left Behind movies. Yeah, even though there's 3 years between entries, it feels less like a trilogy and more like I'm watching a TV miniseries, but not a terrible one. And yes, I'm mainly saying that because I know how much worse these movies got. At least these feel like there's a little ambition and heart in them. They do have a story that moves, and a 3-act structure. I know, that's a lot of words for, well, they're movies. But I've seen Kirk productions where I can't even say that about them. We'll get to the third movie, Left Behind 3, World at War, at some point, which I promise you will probably also be a movie.
You feel like a cookie?
Why, do I look like one?
Folks, I know it hasn't been that long since I released an episode on Left Behind 2 Tribulation Force, but I have to get to Left Behind 3 quickly. Is it because I'm afraid of forgetting what even happened at the end of the second? Absolutely. I've already forgotten most of it. Okay, I remember Jason Jones was in the second film, so hopefully in the third, we'll find out what side he falls on in the World at War. And considering how in the second, the Antichrist had to pull the news feed to keep people from seeing the truth, it's hilarious that when I click on the Left Behind World at War website, this happens. From the poster, though, can't tell if Asylum Mockbuster of White House Down, Deep Impact, or Plane. Left Behind 3 was the last part of this particular set of Left Behind films, making it a trilogy, but does it really sum it up enough considering there's about 16 books? This one isn't so much based on the third book entirely. The movie comes from the last couple chapters of the second book, Tribulation Force, and also the first handful of chapters of the third, Nikolai, with a lot of stuff included that doesn't come from any of the books. Maybe there's more in the video game version. Taking the reins of director this time is Craig R. Baxley, which gives me hope, and I'll tell you why. This man directed Action Jackson. And the best part of the opening? Yes, we have finally reached heaven after all of these years! This one starts out happily. Ah, damn it, just the studio logo. What about this one? I am seeing a bright light. Yes, studio logo, but the bright light doesn't lie. Where is this taking me? Yeah, that seems about accurate. Oh, and Louis Gossett Jr. is narrating the series now, I guess.
Funny thing about a dream, when you're asleep, it all seems to make sense.
Like hell, I never forgot my locker combination while my teeth were falling out. It doesn't take long for this to get weird.
And when one single man rose to power.
This is original. We're actually watching the person narrate it. I'm guessing he's the President of the United States, or snook onto the set of Murder at 1600, because this is the same Oval Office used for that. This is all 18 months after the Israel Treaty from the end of the second, and is marking the beginning of the 7-year tribulation, when no one can get any work done because of gangs shining flashlights into your windows and holding up a sound effects box. President Gerald Fitzhugh has a plan though, but we need to stall for time. Perfect! The whole 1 week earlier cliche! One of the worst story structures you can do, but it's left behind, so I don't care. This is the most intense loading of Bibles I've ever seen.
Where are these Bibles going? Utah!
Clearly, I mean, they're all the Book of Mormon. Sho Kosugi will get these Bibles out of here or die trying. Ninja 4 has gotten preachy. But no, they left Chris Smith behind. He can't get mad. That's the title. Chris Smith continues his tradition of me having to double check after asking,
so Chris Smith was a character in the others, right? I had to do that for the second one too.
I may not remember him in life, but with this cutaway, I will always remember him in death. Damn, how could I have forgotten the character whose head was made of clay? Now we meet Vice President Charles Martin Smith. Between the three of you, you were in American Graffiti, Officer and a Gentleman, and The Untouchables. What are you doing here with Kirk and speaking only in dramatic movie politics speak?
I'm fighting for America, not against it. America is the will of its people, and just like the rest of the world, it's a new way.
President Fitzhugh wants to give the Branch Davidians a shot. The Vice President warns that Nikolai is going to attack America with a biological weapon. They're stuck because they don't have Jack Bauer anymore. God raptured him on the grounds of just giving the man a break for once in his life. So far, the cuts here are the best part.
What makes you think that the United States is one of its prime targets?
Is he still gonna answer that question?
He has the best of the best protecting him, unless something explosion-y happens, and then, holy shit, I didn't sign up for this! I was just trying to impress my wife, I'm getting out of here! It doesn't matter how fake the rockets look, it'll still blow something up, where shockingly, the president is just fine. Not the first time that's gonna happen either. Ah, good, help is here.
Mallory was a good man, a man you could trust. Know that.
Okay, bye. Can you take me with you?
Anyway, time for church. Things have changed in the last 18 months. Clarence Gilliard Jr. had scheduling conflicts, so now Bruce Barnes is played by Arnold Pinnock. He has political experience. He was in Brady Bunch in the White House. Didn't they have a full church at the end of the last one? What happened? Oh wait, okay. Buck and Chloe are getting married. That must be why the others from the church aren't here. They didn't care. Here, I had to steal this off the charred body of a librarian.
And Dad looks thrilled. Let's get some horny vows in here to make it awkward.
To laugh with you in good times, support you in bad, to comfort you with my body.
Okay, honey, I'm right here. Only one thing I can do now, upstage their wedding with my own. No joke, it's a double wedding. Now Rayford and Amanda are getting married. This scene was already too long as it is. Now we have to see a second wedding? A lot of sex sounds gonna be going on in the house tonight.
I barely remember who Amanda is,
but they're serious about this wedding, so I just have to suck it up and accept it. Maybe I'll remember who she is later. I'm so happy for you all. I'm so alone. I'm Bruce.
On with their hot night, dinner with Bruce and making plans.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure we'll find something to do.
We've decided to include hot wax into our lovemaking.
Ain't nothing that's gonna ruin this wedding reception. Really, Buck? You're still on call today of all days?
Vice President Mallory has been assassinated.
God damn it, get Billy Drago's face on the news! Bring him in ASAP!
This scene still keeps getting dragged out for the Lord's Prayer. Can't tell this movie is stretched out from a few chapters and a couple books. And where's Nikolai Carpathia? He's always been the most entertaining character in these. We'll get to him soon. Let's pad it out even more by showing the president slowly go up the stairs in front of him. Then a slow elevator shot, and gonna get every second of him walking through the hall. God damn. I've been waiting here several hours. I got hungry and had to order some food. I hope you like Taco Bell. They brought back the nacho fries. I like an administration that thinks inside the shell. And after the Rapture, all restaurants are Taco Bell. This is another scene that's gonna get deep, isn't it?
Look at the sky, Mr. President. What color do you see?
You mean the actual sky or the backdrop behind you? And what's lunch without concocting my own Baja Blast? My assistant will give you everything you need, including awkward cut.
I'm very flattered you remembered me, Mr. President.
How could I forget?
What did he do? Grab her ass? Scenes in this are simultaneously too long and awkwardly cut. And now for our own awkward cut, let's take a break. We are back, and finally, Buck is gonna pay for those kidnapped orphan children in Little Piece of Heaven. I love that even Kirk wants to speed things along here.
Option number 1, think about not putting a bullet into your head. Option 2.
Option 1 is fine.
Oh, damn it, I've got several more badass one-liners to use. Okay, let's continue, I guess. Thanks for taking the hood off. I recognized his voice. I knew it was the president. And he's still got some movie lines.
Answers now. Prayers later.
The answer is in there.
Oh, right, sorry. You've stopped whole scenes before to pray, so I needed to take precautions.
Both want to stop Nikolai's plan, and his evil plan is to poison Bibles with anthrax. People are really going out and buying new Bibles instead of just going to all of our nation's grandmothers' houses and taking theirs? If this plan sounds stupid, just remember it doesn't come from the book, but I hope these lines do.
Wouldn't you want him dead?
He's the Antichrist. You can't kill him.
The movie is from the director of Action Jackson. He'll find a way.
But meanwhile, at the airport hangar...
I figure you'd never get around to introducing me to your lovely new wife, so I took it upon myself. I was just giving Mandy my congratulations.
It's a Hallmark Christmas movie now, and the jealous ex-girlfriend is gonna ruin things while Rayford tries delivering letters to Santa. Or it's a soap opera. Dude, that's Kirk Cameron's wife. There's only one thing that can save our nation's Christians from poisoned Bibles.
You need the vaccines. Maybe those will work.
Well, that's a far cry from the Kevin Sorbo version, in which, I'm not kidding, vaccines were the mark of the beast. But nothing is gonna beat his vice president's plan. Seriously, Charles Martin Smith got in and out of this. One scene and I'm done. Blow me up in a car. I'm out of here.
We're gonna have to see their entire drive now, aren't we? They can fill time with tragic backstories, like when her husband died.
And they told me that he fell off the Staten Island ferry.
Wow, idiot.
Cut to something more riveting, like loading the truck.
These vaccines weigh a ton.
That's the microchips that heighten our blind spot to keep us from seeing the truth of the flat earth. Sometimes you can just tell a movie would be way better if it was a canon film and it was Van Damme running through the sewers to investigate the Antichrist, and if they had to dodge rat people as well. Let the rat people walk by. We don't have the budget to show their faces. Bad news, they found their laboratory, but good news, their plan is really, really stupid. Do you know how long it will take to poison all these Bibles to kill enough people to make a dent? It's worse than I thought. They're coating it with that nasty cologne Grandpa always wears. Wow, our security is really terrible. The Antichrist didn't spend a lot of money on that department. You can stand there, shoot wildly, miss, and the president will still hit you. Too much action, though. Now we need to see the whole drive back, where we now get the president's tragic backstory. After Jaws 3, I lost the shark vote. I kinda like this plot, where evil Chelsea Noble is threatening Rayford and seducing him.
Did you know she has a Bible stashed in your suite? That's okay. I didn't report it.
Ditch your new wife, and together we can buy up the family toy store and turn it into a Starbucks.
She is straight up not letting it go. Damn, why is a fraction of this movie a rip-off of Disclosure? And those poisoned Bibles got shipped out fast. Bruce is already infected? Did he not have enough Bibles in his church already? No matter, we've got several more actors lined up to play Bruce in case we lose this one. Here, we'll take care of you. Drink this up, it's vinegar. But, fake out dream sequence! But not really, because I really am sick. So it's like a half fake out dream sequence.
They've got all hands on deck. Richard Fitzpatrick plays Major Kent. He'll study their every move. He's been in a ton of Hallmark Christmas movies. Now on with Hacking Missile Command, showing all the places Nikolai will strike. I should be safe. Oh crap, I'm screwed. And they have their biggest weapon abruptly ending the scene.
Yes, sir. Same 3 cities.
Well, let's not let World War III interrupt this romantic date setting. And like everything, it's all interrupted by Dad.
Hey, come on. You know where your wife is?
Control your woman, Buck! I can't fly a plane with her making several complimentary nuts jokes!
Earlier, Kirk was wanting to speed the scenes along. Now God is.
Heavenly Father, we need your guidance.
Thank God. Lord, is that you?
Oh, Louis Gossett Jr. Close enough.
This doesn't feel like the third part in a trilogy. It feels like a messy episode in a political thriller TV series. Everything is so scattered and random, I can't tell who the main character is. When series regulars show up, I'm sitting here like, oh right, Chloe is in this. Earlier, I was even like, oh right, Kirk Cameron is in this. It's like I'm watching Country Music Channel try their hand at making a Jericho TV series, where its biggest villain is padding.
What a day, what a glorious day, what a glorious...
Well, with karaoke that bad, he's definitely gonna be in hell. This is just making up rules as it goes along. Because it's Lord of the Rings now. Look, all I'm saying is Stephen King is better at surprise psychic connection characters, because at least then, I guess you kind of expect it, in this.
They that wait upon the Lord will renew their strength and mount up with wings as eagles.
It's a whole movie made up of scenes that you could lose and not miss anything. My God, I've got it now. We throw the poison Bibles into a volcano or something. I don't know. I'm a little fuzzy on my fantasy stories. He's got to get to Chicago to save his daughter. If they can make it past security and Ice Queen Hattie, who is here with attitude and twists.
How far along now?
3 months.
Does Nikolai know?
She's carrying the Antichrist's baby. Kirk's biggest test yet on where this movie will fall in the abortion debate. No matter, it's never mentioned again. Another plotline done better by King. Because Nadine didn't show up to say, I'm pregnant, then leave, never to be seen again. But it is sad to see how the president and Nikolai's friendship has fallen apart. Truly, no one knows him better than Nikolai.
You look different today, Gerald. There's something new in your eyes.
You're right. I did get a new jar of head wax. Pick whatever excuse you want. That's the end of that scene. He's back in the war room now, taking down Nikolai the only way he knows how.
I haven't been searched yet. It's just porcelain.
You have a very weird collection, sir. This is a foolproof plan. No Antichrist can survive being shot with a plastic gun he took from a Time Crisis arcade machine. What in the world are you holding? Is that a fresh coat of paint? The fumes will hurt my head more than the bullets. He also wanted to plant a transponder on him, but Nikolai pickpocketed it from him and crushed it. Everyone in this is useless! Look, he's distracting the president with an endless stream of disaster movie B-roll showing that World War III has begun. It would have been easier to just show the Cinema Snob episode on World War III. I knew I should have brought a weapon stronger than simply breaking the skin with a tiny pellet. See, he can sew that suit back together just fine. Don't mind him, he wasn't a true believer in toy guns. And right before the president was gonna answer the question, the sky is green, as in obvious green screen out the window. I'm guessing he'll fall since Nikolai said, nice of you to drop in. He's fine. Seriously, he is. That's just how stupid and convenient this movie is.
That's not humanly possible.
Even the Antichrist is calling out the bullshit here. He's the smartest one in the film, because he's the only smart one in the film. We'll be right back. The movie has 25 minutes left. Will it solve World War III and take down the Antichrist? We'll see. We're back, and I like that no matter where you are located in this, you are in walking distance to the war room. Oh, right, Kirk Cameron is in this. Buck is just watching things happen throughout.
No, I'm sitting here in my apartment watching World War III through a window.
Buck is the hero we need, staying inside where it's safe. Oh, and Chloe has been poisoned by the Bibles too. Serves her right for eating the pages of Song of Solomon for dinner. No, God, I thought we were friends!
Oh, this is not the God I know.
Really? You've not seen bad things happen to good people in these movies? I also like how 3 movies in and people are still surprised by the Antichrist.
You want me to believe that he's bulletproof and you fell out a window and walked away?
I could understand her having questions about the falling out a window part, but everything else checks out. My favorite is when Kirk is angry at God and says, "Fine, I'm going to Chicago anyway. What are you gonna do, kill me?" Then God gives him a busy signal so he can't arrange tickets. We've now reached the point in the film where it's being padded with previous footage of the very movie we're watching. Hell, even Bruce dying is stretching this out. Christ, I thought he died like 20 minutes ago. He's still going. Wanna get real awkward? Hey, Ray, look behind you, you idiot.
Oh, no.
Oh shit, my dying daughter. Wow, that probably should have been the first thing I noticed when I walked in here. But now we're caught up to the president recording his narration on the same type of camera I used to make some shot-on-shitio movies about 20 years ago. And the man who walked in at the beginning, it was Kirk, showing the most unrealistic power in the entire film, that anyone can safely walk anywhere in a matter of minutes. Even the president is like, why aren't you with your wife? And his answer is, she's going to heaven, she'll be fine. I've got more important things.
Time is running out. And I don't want you to go to hell.
This is just an elaborate plan for Kirk and Chloe to have their honeymoon at Camp David. So sure, with World War III happening and bombs going off in the background, let's do this confess your sins conclusion like I'm watching an Estes Perkle movie with After Effects. How is there only 12 minutes left? And why is it still being padded with dying Bruce? It's such a casual conclusion. Nothing dangerous here. We'll take our time and act normal. Then back to the dying and slowly praying Bruce again. My God, this movie is bad. All Nikolai really does here is just hang out in his office till people slowly, very, very slowly, walk to him and maybe something will happen. And something does. When this movie is backed into a corner, God gives the president invisibility powers. I'm being serious. I guess that's normal. Probably just some kids hitting the buttons. It's not like the first 2 movies were great, but they were the better Left Behind movies I saw. Maybe because they at least based themselves on mostly whole books? Whereas this is just a punishingly stretched out movie version of just some chapters. I'm guessing because that helped the movie's very, very limited budget. It's comedic how long it takes this guy to die. Saul from Windy City didn't take this long. Comedy death scenes don't take this long. Even when he does die, I'm like, I don't believe you. This is a movie where the big plan is, I'm gonna record everything he's saying on the phone. That'll convince them to send the bombs our way. The one thing Nikolai hasn't predicted for whatever reason. Also, with Bruce dead, let's now have Chloe die for a long-ass time. I'm kidding, she has an antidote.
Drink this wine and live. It's the wine. I can breathe.
The wine cured her. Wine moms everywhere will save the world. Pass out more Hallmark movies to everyone. Also, sorry Bruce, guess you should have drank the wine, huh? But remember, the Antichrist is still unkillable. But Superman throwing a huge-ass bomb at him will slow him down a bit.
Could this get any more convenient?
We found the antidote. It's red wine.
What?
Seriously? Oh, that's ridiculous. It was that easy this whole time? Also, this isn't gonna feel like the end of a trilogy, isn't it? Nope, the last line is, "We need to talk," and Nikolai doing the evil villain walk towards the camera like both he and McConaughey's Randall Flagg are patiently awaiting sequels to this and The Dark Tower. What a pointless ass trilogy! If you barely had enough money and storytelling for this one, why leave the damn thing open? Just end it! Oh, but sure, I guess there's more. There's the Nick Cage remake, that movie's Sorbo sorta sequel, and the YA romance version. I'm not angry simply because this was bad. I'm angry because at the end of the 3 movies, it was a waste of my goddamn time. Even the Estes Perkle trilogy ended in heaven. But the plus side is, after a day or 2, I'll forget it anyway. That's all for the best. That way I can go to sleep at night knowing that Jason Jones survived the events of these films just fine.
So what's gonna happen?
The world will experience judgments, terrible judgments.